You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 5th meeting for the Michigan City Fire Merit Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right,
Speaking of that, we better.
let's call the meeting to order, the Fire Merit Commission meeting on Monday, May 5th. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Mr. Adrian.
Present.
Mr. Bijie.
Present.
Mr. Deutscher.
Present.
Mr. Esbar.
Here.
And Mr. Nylub's here. Approval of the minutes of the regular meeting in April.
Most approved.
Second it.
All in favor, so saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes. Communications and claims. I have none. Anybody else get anything? No. Report from the city council representative.
I have no report.
Report from the commission attorney.
No report.
Report from the fire chief.
Thank you. Let's start with the incident breakdown for April of 2025. We had a total number of 410 calls. And when I give the breakdown, if you're doing the math, 4 of the calls hadn't been completed at the time this was printed out, so they're not included in the breakdown, but they are included in the total. So like I said, we had a total of 410, and it was 14 fires, 294 medical calls, 19 hazardous conditions, which were not fires, 11 service calls, 43 good intent, 25 false alarm or false calls, and Narcan was used 10 times on those medical calls. Which brings our total for the year to date at 1,596, which is 75 more than what we had at the same time last year,
Wow.
which was obviously 1,521. So, May's anniversaries is Captain Brandon Lee was 16 years. And we had a resignation in the month of April. Probationary firefighter Jose Guerin, he went back to where he came from, become a paramedic.
Really?
So congratulations to him if it all works out for him. So we're going to be asking for the next name on the list for a new hire.
Next name is Jacob Malik. I will get a hold of Jenny to get his paperwork, to get a background check done before I call him.
Okay.
I'll get a hold of her.
We also had three firefighters that graduated the academy Friday. They started shift. One of them had already been on shift before they went to the academy. The other 2 had not. So the 2 that had not have started. Well, the one started yesterday, and the other one that was already on shift, he's back on shift today. The other one will be on tomorrow. Kind of think that's it. I do have a question after last month's meeting, and maybe a clarification on a couple of things. We talked about changing some things with promotional testing and the requirements to test and all that. Somebody had asked me, and I didn't think maybe it came across that way, that if we change this, it changes the list now, and that's not the case. It's not what we're trying to do at all. The list is the list. Whoever's on the list now is on the list. We're looking for the future, like when you promote the test next year and beyond.
Promotional test, yes, it'll be next year.
Yeah, that's what I said. But somebody says, somebody asked, they may have misheard, misunderstood what was being said. They said, well, it won't change the list now. I'm like, no.
No.
The list is the list.
Right.
That's
for the next testing.
Right. But you kept saying that you felt it should be based off merit. And you said,
Well, I think it's
best
not.
gets the job. So which score? We got 2 different scores. We got the written score, which is all we're wanting to change. And just because somebody gets the highest written score doesn't mean they're getting promoted. You know that, once you factor in seniority and
Yes,
everything else, they could be second, third, fourth, fifth.
Correct.
All we're trying to do is get some kind of a baseline kind of thing. And I'm still waiting on some type of a draft to speak about, so we can discuss and show you what we're talking about.
right.
So when we get that, we'll talk to you.
I'm just saying, to me, merit is not a pass-fail. It's the best score wins. That's what,
But man,
that's
when-
merit. I understand, I understand.
And
I get
I'm not
it.
the only one, this ain't just me.
I get it.
It's-
I know,
it's-
I understand. I seen the scores, I know.
We gotta have something in place,
I think
something.
battalion chiefs should have a merit, be tested against that merit myself too.
I know what you're talking, you're
When a
thinking,
battalion chief gets his job, he's done. He doesn't ever
everybody
test.
is.
Huh?
Everybody is. If I become a captain, which I am, I could just sit at captain, I don't gotta worry about it.
Correct.
Driver, I could
Somebody
just be
can
a driver. I
taste
could be the
visual
worst driver
against the
this department
captain.
ever seen,
But
I'm a driver.
But if a guy, okay, so what's this scenario? Okay, there's a captain there and he tested for captain, he got a higher score than you did.
Right.
But if there's not a captain's opening, the captain can't move up.
If there's not a captain open, you're not moving up, no.
Okay.
Because what's about to happen after this summer, after July, the next known retirement won't be till January of '29. So we'll be almost 3.5 years with no retirement. So wherever people are at right now, that's where they're going to be.
That's kind of why I got off the
So
job.
it's like, you know,
Because the battalion chiefs, Zawaki just got off, and that's been, I've been off for 22 years. There wasn't another opening for me, for a chief or anything, battalion chief, for 20 years.
but at the same time,
So
that's-
I'm
that's
stuck
where
as a
dudes got
captain. I
promoted
couldn't promote, I couldn't be promoted because I couldn't test.
they got promoted
against
so
battalion
fast and
chiefs.
so young though, and Mikey can attest to that. I mean, they had a mass exodus of people. A bunch of guys moved up real fast, real young. You
Why?
know,
Because
and
we
they-
had fires and we had like 18 months total on our captain, back-end man and firefighter at the time, yes. I know how that was.
I mean, we got a guy getting ready to be a captain with 7 years on the job.
Now,
We had guys
I
captain
mean,
who
it's
had a
just,
year on the
it's that
job.
cycle.
I can see
right,
that.
it's that just, it's a
Does it
cycle
feel
that the
good?
fire
No, it don't
department
feel
goes
good.
through.
For everybody else, it don't
No,
feel
but you
good.
can- no,
That's
I
just the way
understand,
it
but I just always thought that a battalion chief should be a job that needed to be tested up for.
Well, then we
If
sit
there's
down and
somebody
talk.
comes
They-
along,
is. Sit down and talk.
Wait,
right?
Bring your suggestions.
they do,
I've been doing this
they
for-
do test for battalion chief. That's once you get the battalion chief's
Yeah,
job,
but, okay, so
you're
there's a
locked in as
captain.
merit.
Right, but if there's a captain that wants to test for battalion chief, and if he tests higher, and all
No.
your longevity and all this in it, but if he scores higher, he should get the job.
If there's an opening.
No, if he should get the job, these guys are
You're saying
locked.
that a second, like, they test 1 year against the battalion chief's job, and now the next testing cycle, somebody gets a better
So you got to test for your position.
That's what he's saying.
That's what I'm saying, in a battalion chief position.
Once you test, you're in.
In a battalion chief's position, that means none of the captains can move up.
Correct.
I really
Until
just
one
started
moves.
this.
Now, and some of these battalion chiefs have been on,
That's-
for
but-
20 years, been a battalion chief.
But that's no different than a lieutenant waiting for a captain's position open. It's no different.
I
We've had
guess.
drivers for 20 years, we've had captains for
Right.
20 years, lieutenants.
That's merit.
Yeah, but the guys you've had a driver for 20 years didn't want to move up.
That's the merit
Pretty
system.
good idea. Or a lieutenant didn't want to move up. I just felt that when I was on
But
the
if they
job,
don't
it
want to move
wasn't.
up, they're not even going to test, so they're not worried.
Right, I know, that's not what I'm saying.
No, once you get your job through merit, it's your job.
I'm just looking to have some.
So it's not a true merit system. Because someone
Only
might
when
have
there's an
enough,
opening.
more merit.
So you're saying that them guys should have to, all the battalion chiefs should have to test again?
If there's somebody that wants a job, their job, they should have to test against them for it.
No, not twice, no. Once you test, that score's locked in.
Right.
I don't feel it's right. You might feel it's right, I don't. Because it's locked in for 20 years. You don't have to study, you don't have to do anything for 20 years, and you're locked in the job.
What's wrong with that?
I didn't agree with it then, and I don't agree with it now. That's
Why
I
not?
got off the job.
Why?
Because you should be able to move up. It's a merit system. If you test higher than the other guy that's in the job, you should be able to move up, especially in a battalion chief.
If-
I understand the other ranks.
If
but
there's an
It
opening,
doesn't come up, the opening didn't come up for 20 years.
and that's how it
I don't
works.
feel it's right.
Oh,
You feel
well.
one way, he feels the same way. I don't feel
Right.
it's right because these guys don't have to test or do their education. I think it's a lot different than when I was on now. I
Well,
know.
then listening to you just say that, you don't have to do your education, you don't have to do that now. because there's no pass or fail to the test. I could get a 30 on the test and get promoted. That's what I'm saying. I'm only asking for some kind of a standard to the written test. That's all I'm asking for.
I don't know, when I was on, you had to have a 75 or above. You couldn't get a 30 and pass, and get promoted, so I don't know what.
You're not
they changed
passing now,
that.
you're just testing. There is no pass, fail, or otherwise. It's just.
Best score wins.
Whoever gets the best score,
I
right?
say, I usually say it in a
Best-
different way, but that's what it is
Yeah.
that whoever just gets the highest overall score.
Overall.
Not the highest written.
Right, overall score.
I'm talking overall
So,
score.
so by that, the person who gets the highest written score doesn't necessarily mean they're getting promoted. It could be somebody that which we've had before.
Has more years
That-
on
that
it, I
has more
understand.
years on the job,
All that-
absolutely.
all that stuff should be factored in, I agree.
So, that's all I'll say. I wanted to understand what merit, because to me, merit is, I mean, if I score better than somebody on a test, apparently I feel that should weigh somewhere.
It should, and then once all the other things are in it, that's how I feel in true merit is.
No.
You know, when
I
you
said-
get your longevity, you get all this other stuff, and you get your whatever certificates, I think you get points for that now.
And no, not for your promotion, no.
No, for your certificates and stuff, that
No.
doesn't come on your promotions?
No.
You know, and you could look at it both sides, and I agree with this. Just because somebody can test good, don't make them a good, let's say you're testing for lieutenant, don't make you a good lieutenant.
I agree
And just
with you
because you got
100%.
experience on the job doesn't necessarily make you good either. You gotta have, they go hand in hand. You know, somebody might just be a good test taker, and they're horrible at the position. They're no good at the position, but they test good.
You gotta be a people person
I mean,
too.
we gotta figure out something to make it better. And we have obviously plenty of time to do that since, like I said,
It's gonna,
the only known promotions after this, or retirements after this summer will be almost 3.5 years from now.
on the
So
summer
we have plenty of
side.
time to figure out, you know, which means there'll be no promotions either. Given that, you know, there's not just, somebody might one day wake up and say, I'm gonna retire next month, that's a different story.
Right.
I know a guy did
You
that.
can't foresee that.
So, with that, I think that's all I have.
Okay. Report from Local 475.
No report, but a question. Are you guys going to be doing any not promotional, but a new hire list? It's like this year?
The new hire list testing should be done by the end of this year. The new list. This list runs out this year.
But I guess he's asking,
When are you guys planning on doing that?
do you have idea when you're gonna test, I think is what.
Well, I think we did it the same like we do promotional testing. September, that gets us done by December.
Okay. I was
Next
curious.
fall.
I mean, I was
No.
asked, and then,
Yes, probably this fall.
I was asked, and then, well, you're figuring it's May now. You
Right,
figure-
so it's got
Put
after,
the word out at some point, I guess, I don't know. Because I guess people are wondering, questions are being asked, like, people that want to test, I guess, are questioning. You know what I mean? Yeah, people, hey, when are you guys testing?
when you guys,
Every 2 years.
well, if they got their application in, you know, they got open applications year-round. So you take all those applications and send letters out and tell them.
Guess they're just waiting to see.
Well, I guess you guys need to set a
Expect it.
date for that, though.
No, we haven't, there's no date set yet,
yeah,
yes.
that's what-
There's needs to be discussion on that, but it'll probably be in the fall.
Like, cool.
Yeah,
Then
plenty
they
of
got,
time.
then they would have to find out if we have enough test books, if order, we got a lot of things, yes.
All right.
Old business? New business? No new business? Public comments?
I'll speak today.
Yes, sir?
Scott Mellon, 200 Kenwood Place. To wade into the list and the merit thing, my understanding of these type of things is the merit and all that is what gets you in the position. Once you're in a position, you have a position. My question would be, I don't know if it happens with fire departments, are there refresher courses or is there continuing education requirements for battalion chiefs or captains or lieutenants? That would, you know, that would help for the person that's been in the position for 10 years. And there's somebody now on the list with a higher merit score, however that works with you guys. Maybe there is such a thing as refresher course or CE for fire departments. The other matter is, as many people in this department probably heard, the Maryville Fire Department had an issue with fraud at with a mechanic. This actually went to court and he was found guilty, where the mechanic they were using, the diesel mechanic, told them they needed a new engine for their engine. And it turns out, in fact, and so that engine's out of service, waiting for that. It turns out, and they were paid, and then Maryville paid the mechanic the 60 grand for a new engine. He didn't do anything. Probably about a year goes by. Now they tow it to another facility, and they're like, "There's nothing wrong with your engine."
They just found some metal flakes or something like that in your
That's what
oil?
the first mechanic said there was.
Yeah.
The second shop said there's
Right.
nothing but ordinary wear and tear.
I heard about it.
So the reason I bring this up is we've got an engine, we've got some equipment that has some frame damage or needs some frame repair, and I'm just hoping we are not using the same mechanic that defrauded Maryville, and/or we get a second opinion. So that
Don't
doesn't
most of our
happen to us.
mechanical,
I
you guys
can't-
use the city
this-
barns?
this-
Unless it's something
actually,
major?
Yeah. I can't answer to anything with Maryville and who they use as a mechanic. I
Right.
don't know if they went to Jim Bob down the street or they actually went to
True.
whoever their manufacturer is of their engines. But ours actually came from the Pierce dude that came out, the guy who from Pierce, or at least McQueen that deals with the Pierce vehicles came out. And I can get whatever you need on that. Deputy Chief Rebeck has the information on that, as far as the report and everything that was given to us concerning that vehicle, yes.
I mean, I trust you guys, I just want to make sure Mission City's.
How did we get frame damage?
Somebody.
It's a,
Natural
it's
rust.
like a damn near 14-year-old truck, man, and it's just, it's
14-year-old truck, and it's got the
It's
frames rusting out.
13, it was from 12, so it's right 13 years old now. And obviously, salt, this and it's been through 13, 14 winters at this point, depending on when we got it. You've been through like 13 winters. It's just, I mean, we had the feed on the stabilizers for the ladder had to get re-welded and stuff back. I mean, the rust ate it up.
So what are you saying?
But that could be a thing with Pierce. I don't know, because I know we had a couple other trucks that
Where
had
do they
frame
get their
damage.
steel from?
Huh?
Where do they get their steel from?
I don't know, but let me finish.
Okay, sorry.
But we had a couple other Pierces that had to have framework done, but they fell under warranty. There was issues with that particular years or whatever. I don't know. That was done before I got up here. I don't know the ins and outs of that. I don't know if that particular engine now falls under that or not. And I don't know where they're getting their steel. I don't know. I don't ask. As long as the truck runs and it gets us there. So, I don't know. Maybe we need to get some undercarriage washers at the station. I don't know.
We don't spray,
I heard.
we don't spray the hoses underneath the
I-
engines anymore?
How old is
Some of the
that?
guys don't even get the soap
I got-
trucks, and I got to talk to them about that. I mean, but there was a crazy theory as to where the rust comes from. I don't know if I really want to mention that because it was so absurd. I just laughed and walked away. It's just road, just off the road.
I got 1998 trucks that don't have frames rusted out on them that sit outside of for 25 years.
Well, why don't you,
It's hard to believe
why
that
don't you
these
go-
frames
why
out.
don't you come on over and crawl up on there and let us know what's going on?
It all depends on where the truck
I'm
goes.
just saying
I'm going
that,
off what the Pierce guy said. I don't know why it's rusting the way it is.
that would be a question for the Pierce guy, what I would feel that,
Well,
how come these things are rusting out in 14 years?
and I'll talk to
Because
Frank.
they're setting
Frank
inside-
deals with the vehicles. Frank is in the know with the vehicles. He's got the report. But they said in the next 3 to 4 years, if nothing's done, you're looking at that time, it was somewhere around $380,000 to $400,000 work to be done to the truck. And by the time that work needs to be done, it's obviously going to be more than that.
I can't imagine that 14 years, the frame's rusting out on a truck that probably gets taken care of better than most everybody's vehicle.
They do get taken care of.
You know,
But why it's rusting, I don't know. I can't answer.
I know
I'm
that
not-
probably needs to be to the manufacturer.
Probably. I mean, we put 3 turbos on it too in the past year. And it's getting old, man.
I guess.
I mean, you've got new parts too, don't you? We're all getting new. I need new parts.
Yeah, but not
I'm just
after,
putting it off, man.
not after 14 years, I didn't need new parts.
I'm just saying. man.
After 68
It's
years, I
old.
needed new parts. Yeah, but not
Yeah, I
14
honestly,
years.
all jokes aside, I don't know if it's got to do with road salt or if it's just a bad steel. I don't know. Because like I said, we had 2 other vehicles that had frame damage like that, and there were repairs done to it, but it fell under warranty. So I don't know if Frank has looked into that yet.
I would definitely be looking into warranty.
But
14 years isn't much
No, you're right.
time.
You're right. It's a 2012.
For the record, the mechanic that was charged with fraud was named David Shepard from Hoosier Diesel. Hoosier Diesel. So as long as we're not going there,
Who's your diesel, huh?
yeah, who's your diesel?
Yeah.
Who's your diesel?
We don't use them.
I don't believe we use it.
Okay.
No.
Fly by night.
So right now, I think we're good.
All right. Any other public comments?
No.
Commission comments?
No?
Yeah, I can't help myself, but I think it's due to my profession. We're not in charge of the fire trucks. We talk about fire trucks almost every meeting. It's an
Yeah.
absolute waste of time. We have no authority over the fire trucks.
Correct.
That's my comment.
I'm just trying to earn my money.
Any other commission comments?
Good point.
A motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right. Next meeting will be Monday, June 2nd at 5 o'clock.
Right.